James, I don't know how many videos we had actually discussing the future of Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid, not Real Madrid. James, where should he go? Where do you want him to go? Where do you think he'll go? Like all the different variations of having a conversation about surrounding Kylian Mbappe, right? I feel like we had those conversations. I was wrong. I thought he'd be a Real Madrid player. I can't remember what you finished with. Did you say you thought he'd leave or do you think he'd stay?
I thought that they were after it would kind of change. I thought he was gonna be destined to join Real Madrid. And then after a while, after a few conversations, I felt he was gonna stay, and he ended up staying. But see what
But
happens then.
he signs this new deal, and we think, okay, the conversation's over. What do Real Madrid care? They're European champions. They've just signed Rudiger for a free, Chouameni for a free, Camavinga looks good, etc., etc., etc. But here we are. What date are we? The 11th of October. Boom. Fabrizio Romano, multiple reporters. We're going with Fabrizio Romano because I feel like that's the one that most people know and most people trust at this point in time. Kylian Mbappe, not happy with Paris Saint-Germain as the current situation is really tense. He wants to leave the club as soon as possible, January, right? Paris Saint-Germain feel he's really putting pressure on the club. They have no intention to sell Mbappe in January. Now, again, people, how reporting works in the professional sports world is you have reporters and then you have different people, let's say groups, who want to push out certain narratives and they drip feed bits of information, true or otherwise, to certain reporters who can then claim it as their own, right? This feels to me like a Kylian Mbappe, his agent, his team have fed this to multiple reporters about him wanting to leave. This does not strike me as something that somebody inside Paris Saint-Germain would have dropped, because what's the benefit? Right. So this to me says actually this is believable news that Kylian Mbappe is not happy at Paris Saint-Germain. Some situation with Neymar, you would imagine, or Messi or something of that nature. And James, I guess I want to ask you, what's your reaction to this news? Because we can go down a lot of different avenues for this, but what's your initial reaction to Mbappe wanting to leave in January?
What
Because
does
you
PSG,
don't like because you don't like this kind of stuff. I don't think.
Jack? What does PSG expect? Um, Jack, you know how much of a big fan of Mbappe I am. I said he was the best player in the world at a certain point. You know, the things he was doing, it was a shame to see him go out away from the Champions League last year, especially the performances he had, almost at times pulling uh a PSG team with a lot with the likes of Neymar and Messi, and he was pushing them forward. And he got the contract. We knew about the Real Madrid stuff, but to see where he is right now, I'm worried for Mbappe. I'm worried that this guy is such a great football player, and we have high expectations for him. But he might not meet these expectations due to his own downfall as a football player.
Okay.
When I hear football players making demands of wages, that's fine. Yeah, because you're meant to do that. Get your bread. I don't no one I'm not talking about no one's bread. Yeah. I don't want to talk about anybody's money. But you're part of a football team. When I'm hearing players talking about we need this manager, we need to play this formation, we need these type of players, we need blah 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 blah. In regards to the team, that's when I know that there's a problem.
Right.
Now, let's be truthfully honest, Jack, right now. Yeah, with Kylian Mbappe. He is based on what players has achieved. He's probably third or fourth best in his team. You know, Ramos has done more than him in the world of
Yeah, it
football.
might even be lower
Uh,
down than that, honestly.
but there's two main dogs that's ahead of him: Messi and Neymar. And the fact that he isn't willing to embrace them, like you're in the midst of two of the greatest of all time, you can learn from them. I don't understand that. There's a problem. He mentioned that he doesn't want to play as a striker. Cool, but it's not like he's playing there. He's getting terrible service. Jack, you're getting service from Messi
Right.
and Neymar,
Hmm.
and you're sad because you have to make a few more runs. And you might not get as many touches as you want. You
Right.
might not get as many dribbles. Jack, if any striker would have the opportunity to have Messi and Neymar next to them, serving them passes, it would be an absolute dream. The fact that he's not happy about that lets me know that there's something even bigger going on.
But but again, I think, and we've talked about this. This is the monster PSG created, guys. Shocker! If you think you're really great, right, and you get that certain level of arrogance and confidence and cockiness, which attacking players need, professional sports people need, but attacking players really need. You need that confidence, because if you don't have that level of confidence in an attacking situation to be able to be creative and to be able to take the risk that you want to take to create a goal, to create an opportunity to create an assist or a chance or something of that nature, then you're not going to be any good at your job. There aren't very many super humble attacking players. But with that, you have to manage your own ego. Some people are fantastic at doing that. There's a lot of people out there. You know, a great example, you guys might think I'm joking here, but I think Zlatan Ibrahimovic is a great example. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, I think, believes he's the greatest player to have ever lived and is one of the greats. But I think he has that self-confidence, but he's self-aware enough to kind of give off that vibe, but to be self-aware enough to be like, I'm kind of joking, I'm tongue-in-cheek. Lots of things that he says to the media, etc., etc. You don't take him overly seriously. But you know what really massages your ego when you think you're that great and you believe that about yourself? A massive contract with clauses and special little things and things that cater to you and your personality. The moment you scribble on that little dotted line that gives you all that money and gives you all that opportunity, ties you to a football club for however long, you're going to go mental with it, especially at a young age, especially without the right people around you to guide you in the right way. So yeah, I'm not surprised by this at all. I'm surprised it's happened this early, right? I didn't expect it this early. But again, I got the feeling that maybe James, he thought that he was going to sign this deal and then Messi and Neymar were going to be sold and it was going to be just Team Mbappe and everybody was going to just, bend over backwards just for him. And maybe he was under like a false impression of what the contract meant. This is the problem with Paris Saint-Germain. This is a Hollywood Marvel, Avengers type thing we got going on here. There's all these big names just being thrown into this situation. The team is not pulling in one direction, not collectively anyway. And Christophe Galtier, again, I don't particularly know much about him in terms of his history or anything of that nature. I don't think this is the guy that's going to steer the ship into the right position and the right place. One of my bold predictions pre-season, James, I don't think he was going to last the season. James, it's because of stuff like this. This is always going to be players think they're bigger than the club. And this is always going to be the letdown. I'm going to just put this out there too. If I'm Real Madrid, I wouldn't touch him with a barge pole.
Jack,
I really wouldn't. Why would you? Why would you?
Jack, I'm glad you said that because it comes off now that you mentioned at the start, PSG have turned Mbappe into a monster. And if you're a football team right now, you're Bayern Munich, you're Man City.
Oh, Bayern, forget about it.
Exactly. You're I don't know, any Juventus or Chelsea. Do you really want Mbappe in your team right now? And Jack, that's crazy, Jack. You know what?
I know, James, and I agree with you.
You know how supportive I am to these football players.
Hey, me too. I rate him unbelievably highly as well.
I find it crazy if you're a team that you want to bring him in because it can get volatile. He looks like somebody that anything doesn't go away. He doesn't take a corner. He doesn't take a throw in. Whatever, that something's gonna pull up here there. Because these little things that I don't seem to understand. Like throughout this season with PSG, there have been subtle jobs between him and Neymar. Jack, we know what Neymar is. We know what Neymar represents. Neymar isn't a godsend. He technically created this toxic environment that happened in PSG. And to be fair with Mbappe is that he grew up seeing this and be like, oh, okay, this is how
That's how we run things.
Yeah, and then we're gonna go, okay. Now I'm gonna be the big dog now, and then he's taking it to another level where listen,
James, look, let's do it. Let's do the exercise, right? Let's say his contract's just ripped up. Obviously, that wasn't going to happen. Let's say the contract's just ripped up. Let's actually go through it. Barcelona, with their financial situation, what they got going on, what they're trying to build with Xavi Hernandez, I don't think they would go for that. Not especially mainly because of the financial situation there. Real Madrid. Why would you? That's the only team I can think. Maybe, but why would you upset the apple cart there? Carlo Ancelotti recently has come out right and said, right, Rodrigo, Benzema, Vinicius Jr., Fede Valverde will fit in somewhere else, right? So again, why would you disrupt that at that point? And look, let's just go through it. Bayern, forget about it. Forget about it. That is an organization with structure, with principle, with hard work. A lot of the players are underpaid at Bayern Munich because you kind of give up a bit of your pay to be part of that great team. Italian teams, probably on the most part, can't really afford him at this point. Yeah. Arsenal, you upsetting the team and what you've got going there right now by throwing...
to a certain point there, you're no, Jack, I listen.
Manchester United, Eric Ten Hag, you think he wants that ego coming in there when he's had to deal with the Cristiano Ronaldo stuff at the moment after already getting rid of Paul Pogba, Lingard and all those guys? Graham Potter, you think he wants Kylian Mbappe coming in to Chelsea? I mean, maybe for that one, maybe, right? Maybe they need some star power going there. Liverpool, maybe that's going to be a thing. Maybe Jurgen Klopp can turn this. Maybe that'll be the thing that revitalizes them.
Do Liverpool have the money?
Right. City, again, maybe, yeah, but they've got such a great thing going at Man City. If Kylian Mbappe comes in, right, it's the thing with Haaland again. Maybe they get in each other's way. Who am I missing? I'm missing a team. I was going to say Spurs, but they can't afford him.
Jack, I'm just going to mention a few things. You mentioned Real Madrid, for instance, right now, and you see how high Real Madrid push right now. But Real Madrid will look on their side and be like, wait a minute, we have a guy in Vinicius Jr. right now who, in a certain terms, is coming close to Mbappe,
right,
matching him in all sorts of ability. And if Mbappe comes in like the way we want to play, Mbappe's going to want to play on the left hand side. Are you going to say Vinicius Jr., can you play on the other side right now where Vinicius Jr. is a fan of cutting inside? There's a lot of things that would destroy the apple cart there. Playing at Manchester City, Jack, you talk about a system. He won't be able to just tuck in and just play in that half space. You know what Pep Guardiola like.
Right.
He likes wide wingers.
Right.
And think about it, is Mbappe going to be willing to be as disciplined like that? Think about the players he's had, Guardiola's had to be disciplined. Thierry Henry, he asked you, can you play as wide as possible? And if you didn't, I'm going to take you off. Now Kylian Mbappe is going to come into that fray. He can't mess up there. Liverpool, to a certain point, the way Liverpool's culture, they don't deal with egos, Jack.
And this is the
last time they've had a sort of player like that.
And what I'm struggling with here, mate, wherever he goes or whether he stays, I don't want to hear a peep out of him for 2 years, 3 years. Because at the moment, all I see is drama, negativity. I don't know what the hell's going on there. I don't. Somebody needs to sit him down, a parent figure, a really close friend. I don't know who that needs to be. A senior person in that dressing room, I don't know. Maybe Sergio Ramos can get through to him. I don't know. He needs to think about what he has, and he needs to think about where he could potentially get to if it's applied in the right way and if he does everything correctly. Because, James, at the moment, I'm getting a little bored of it. And you've already made the point. I think his talent is unbelievable, right? You know, you and I have we've talked about the Haaland, Mbappe, next Messi and Ronaldo, the next great rivalry, the next 10 years. I
don't think it's even close in my eyes. I think Mbappe's head and shoulders.
Right. But then stuff like this makes you go, oh man, you know, because as much as some people dislike Ronaldo, right, on the most part, people kind of like the guy and what he stands for and his work ethic and all this, you know, all this kind of stuff. It's good. It's fun rooting for Ronaldo and Messi. That's a fun rivalry to go for. Kylian Mbappe is coming across as not a very likable guy at the moment. James, January transfer window. I know we love to do this, right? January transfer window is here. We've just hit, you know, dong. The door is slammed shut. Whatever, the bell's rung, right? Kylian Mbappe, where is he? Paris Saint-Germain, Real Madrid. What's he up to? Your prediction?
I think he stays till the end of the season. I can't see it happening. I can't see a team forking out all that money for him to join their football team. And I do also feel like he will be there for the end of the season, but this is officially cost PSG possibly this season, Jack. You know?
Yeah, potentially. And look, I'm going to say the same thing. I think it's going to be Paris Saint-Germain. You know, James, I mean, you're buying him out of a, what would it be at that point next summer, a 5-year deal? Because he signed a 6-year, right? Or was it
No, he signed
three?
Jack. He only signed
Oh, it was two.
yeah, 2-year deal. So it's not like he's here forever.
So
You know,
maybe next summer is the choice. I don't know. I don't know what the clauses are or what the deal is there at all. But I'm just saying, I'm not left with this warm, fuzzy feeling of excitement for Kylian Mbappe's future. Sorry, mate.
last bit. We also have to give the biggest blame to PSG. Jack, what do you do when you sit down there and you offer you say to this player, "We're gonna give you this, we're gonna give you
I'm
that,"
going
and
to
then
give
you
you the
don't give him it,
world.
and you don't give him it. I
Right.
know it sounds a bit bratish from what I'm saying, but a promise is a promise, and if they made them promises to him, you guys didn't keep it. It's your fault that this whole monster, this whole chaos has been created because you, yeah, were so desperate to keep a player right now that's going to disturb a whole season, and it just might destroy the football club, Jack.
Right. And again,
You know,
this European title thing coming up, Leo Messi going to be there next year? I don't know. There's,
Jack, think
you
about
got to
it.
strike
Mbappe
while
is
the iron's
figuring.
hot.
Messi, Messi could possibly go back to Barcelona next year. Neymar's probably seeing the way you guys
Neymar's
want me
linked
out.
to
I'm
being,
gonna want to leave.
mm-hmm.
They could be left with all three of them gone and an aging squad. So it's a bit of a weird one there, but
I just want to kind of, give full context to this because there is other stuff. Luis Campos, again, this is per Fabrizio Romano's Twitter. Luis Campos, the director for Paris Saint-Germain. Mbappe's never told me anything about leaving in January. I deny this information. Mbappe's never told me about his intention to leave in January. We speak with him, Messi, Neymar. We're happy for them to be here. He's told that to Canal Plus. It's not true that I'm leaving Paris. This is Luis Campos talking again. I'm very happy here. I'm under contract for the next 3 years. So that's the director talking. My mission is to bring important trophies to have here at Paris Saint-Germain. Final one from Luis Campos. Mbappe's never told me or Nasser Al Khalifi that he wants to leave Paris Saint-Germain in January. Is Mbappe happy here? You should ask him. It's a serious question. I see him working as a top professional. So again, just shifting the blame. Ask the player. Go ahead. You ask the player. Ask the player. I don't know. I'm just the sporting director who agreed his contract and renewal a couple of months ago. So I don't know if he's happy or not.
Jack,
Again, I know, mate. We're in shake our head kind of
listen,
territory here. Guys watching, this is a tough one for me and James because we're very conflicted. We want people to go out and get what they deserve and get what they owe. Guys, the definition of value is how much somebody's willing to pay for something. If they're willing to give up all this stuff for Kylian Mbappe, then he is worth that, like it or lump it. But how he's dealing with it is not the beautiful thing. If you disagree with us, if you think maybe Mbappe's right, maybe he's been mistreated, maybe Neymar not been so welcoming, I don't know. Drop that in the comments. While you're down there, please like the video. It's super helpful for us. And while you're down there as well, please check that you're subscribed. Always very, very helpful for us. Helps us with the algorithm. Helps you get our videos. Hit the bell as well. There's a lot of World Cup content coming up soon, along as our predictions and all sorts of other good stuff. James, anything else from you, mate?
like, share, and subscribe, guys, and we'll see you next time.